And in the next lecture that Jung calls Dogma and Natural Symbols, he tells a dream of Pauli in which Pauli enters what's called the house of gathering. There's a teacher in the dream and a woman, and she says that religion is about the fullness of life. It's not a substitute. Religion as a substitute is a defense. It's a defense against original religious experience. And Jung and Pauli reflect on this, the message of this dream. I don't know if Pauli was a part of it at this point, but Jung certainly reflects deeply on this. And he says, when the walls of religion break down, as they have now in Europe, there is an opportunity and a danger of original religious experience breaking out. Now, he says, original religious experience is something frightening. It's something most people want to stay away from because it looks kind of crazy. It looks mad. It looks extreme. It's too much. And their cultured ego and their rational ego doesn't want to have so much to do with it. It can even feel like a kind of madness, insanity. So to defend against that, the religions have created walls of dogma where you feel safe. You can have a safe religious experience in the confines of a religious tradition, of a church or a synagogue or a mosque and so on, a temple, because the doctrines are in place to safeguard you against the unconscious. They're like a defensive network. Like the Dutch have put up against the sea, dikes, and they keep the unconscious out, but they allow you for some access through their symbols to religious experience, as I said before, but they protect you from the full onslaught of an original experience. And so Jung speaks about how frightening this is for many people, and how they want to stay away from religion, either religion altogether because it's scary and crazy looking, or they go back into a religious tradition that can protect them. Now he says this dreamer, this young intellectual, he doesn't name Pauli, of course, in this we know now that it was Pauli, this young intellectual can't go back. We know he couldn't go back into his Catholicism. He's realized he's a Jew. Of course, Jewish people can become Catholics too. That's not really an issue. But for him, he was a scientist. Organized religion, religious doctrines, and so on didn't speak to him at all. They were totally superstition and nonsense in his view. So he was exposed to original religious experience, but didn't seek it. It simply came to him in his dreams. And this experience in the house of gathering, Jung picks up, reflects on deeply, and speaks of it as actually a God image showing itself in those flames, those four flames. And he speaks of the numinosity of the image. A natural God image, he says, is being proposed by the unconscious in this dream. A natural God image. Now that takes some interpreting. And Jung goes into a long interpretation about the number 4, about the symbol of fire, and so on. Goes into history of symbolism, goes into medieval and early Christian thought. And he says, of course, the dreamer knew nothing about this, and so wasn't aware of the full meaning of the dream, but he's unpacking the meaning of the dream. And he does this by his method of amplification. He relates a dream image to symbols in traditional religions. And this is, you could say, a part of the genius of Jung, and it's part of the questionability of Jung's approach. Can you relate what seems like a random dream image to a magisterial religious tradition. Well, Jung does that. And he says, in your dreams, you're having original religious experiences that are foundational, that go back to the origins, that go back to where all religions come from. You may not realize it. And so we have to interpret it, we have to understand it. And we do that by this method of amplification, which he was a master at.